How's it going, VC? Hope everyone's well and looking after themselves. Mr. Boulder here. It's a very hot day here in the UK, hence for once I'm not wearing a black t-shirt, because not even I wear black when it's really hot. Some water to keep me hydrated. So back this week with the top 30 albums of 1991. 1991, a fantastic year. Death metal was big this year. Tons of great albums released. Grunge came along. Still some good stuff coming from the hard rock glam metal era. You're going to see all that stuff here. So without further ado, let's get started. Top 30 albums in 1991. Starting with number 30. Dismember's Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. Death metal from Sweden. Classic HM2 guitar tone, of course. So yeah, this is number 30, and I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial here. For me, this doesn't live up to the hype. You hear a lot about albums over the years, people saying it's an absolute masterpiece. Brilliant album, brilliant album. I like this album, I can listen to it and enjoy it, but for me, it's not the masterpiece it's made out to be. I know some people will be astounded by that, but that's my opinion. Yeah, like I say, I like it, but it's just not as great as I think people make it out to be. But still good stuff. Yeah, Override of the Overture, the first song, is absolutely fantastic. Classic death metal riff and that. Soon to Be Dead, Bleed for Me, Skin Her Alive, etc. A good album, but for me it's just not as good as it's been made out to be in the past. But that's my number 30. Dismember's Like an Ever-Flowing Stream from, I was going to say from 1991, but of course all from 1991. Number 29 is Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1. Some fantastic stuff in this, but definitely some filler as well. The second one is better, without a doubt. But there's some killer tracks on this. I love the cover version of Live and Let Die. Coma's fantastic. Don't Damn Me. November Rain's great. Garden of Eden, a good album, no doubt about it. But it's number 29 on the list. So you know where the second one's going to be coming up later on, obviously. Number 28, back to Sweden for some more death metal. This is Unleashed and their debut. What's it called again? Something Where No Life Dwells. One thing I noticed about this is it doesn't have the typical HM2 guitar tone, and I'm absolutely cool with that because it's a little bit typical of death metal albums that come from Sweden. But this is a great album. I'm not gonna lie, I've not had this very long, maybe 2 or 3 months, so it could well be high up the list if I'd had it longer. I haven't really listened to it enough to sort of place it higher up the list, but it's still a very good album that I really do enjoy. The title track's fantastic, as is For They Shall Be Slain, the dark one, Into the Glory Ride. Great death metal from Sweden. Brilliant stuff, love this album. Late to the party with these guys. Been late to the party with quite a few bands, but finally jumped on the train and enjoying the ride. This is all good. Unleashed, and that's their debut. Again, I can't remember the bloody title. Where No Life Dwells. And staying in Sweden, Grave, Into the Grave. Their debut. Fantastic stuff. This does have the HM2 guitar tone. Again, this will probably be higher up the list, but I bought this at the same time as I got the Unleashed album. So I've not had it very long. But it's a good listen. I really do enjoy this one. Deformed for Your God. Hating Life, Haunted, Inhuman, etc. Great riffing, great guttural vocals, brilliant stuff. Grave, Into the Grave. A great album. Really enjoying this one. Going to give it some more spins. Fantastic stuff. Over to America now. From New York, Suffocation, Effigy of the Forgotten. Absolutely brilliant album. Frank Mullen on vocals. Great guttural, deep guttural death metal growls. Terence Hobbs guitar riffing on this is fantastic. Mike Smith on the drums. That guy really knows how to play the drums. Some essential death metal here. Some great songs on this one as well. I mean, the first 3 are just fantastic. Legion of Activity, Effigy of the Forgotten, Infecting the Crypts, all fantastic. Reincarnation, Jesus Wept, Mass Obliteration, Great stuff here from Suffocation. This is their debut, I think. I think they had the Human Waste EP out before, but I think this is their first full length. Like I said earlier, 1991, absolutely amazing year for death metal. Suffocation's debut, New York death metal, Effigy of the Forgotten, brilliant stuff. Staying in New York and more death metal, Immolation, their debut, Dawn of Possession. Yep. From obviously 1991, great stuff. This is my first Immolation album actually. Again, another one of these bands I've been meaning to check out for years and only just getting around to it. The first track on this is superb. Into Everlasting Fire, really, really good. But the title track's fantastic. As is Burial Ground, Fallen Disease, Immolation. Loads of pinch harmonics on this album, guitar-wise, which is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Good riffing, deep guttural vocals, good drumming. Immolation's Dawn of Possession. I really, really enjoy this one. Again, another one that probably needs some more spins, and I'm more than happy to give it some more spins. A fantastic album. The first of the hard rock hair metal guys. This is Dangerous Toys, and it's Hellacious Acres, I think. Yeah, this is really good. I'd love to get this on vinyl, but I'm not even sure if it was even pressed on vinyl. And if it was, it's going to be pretty bloody hard to track down. As there are a lot of albums on vinyl from 1991. Really good band, these guys. Gimme No Lep's fantastic. So those Sticks and Stones, those two songs are just essential to any sort of hard rock hair metal playlist. Angel and You, Feel Like Making Love, that's the cover of the Bad Company song. Line 'Em Up, Gypsy, Bad Guy. Great hard rock sort of hair metal. If you're not familiar with this album, then I highly suggest you pick it up if you're into that kind of scene. It's really, really good. Like I say, the hair bands from 91, that style was kind of going out of fashion, but there's still good albums being released, and this is a really good one. Yeah, if you're into this kind of thing, I highly recommend you grab it. Really good stuff, great vocals, nice guitar riffing. Just an easy to listen to hard rock album. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, make sure you check it out if you haven't heard it. Number 23. Morbid Angel, Blessed of the Sick. Now, I'm going to repeat myself here. As well as Dismember's Like an Ever-Flowing Stream, for me, this isn't the masterpiece everyone makes it out to be as far as I'm concerned. I can think of 3 other Morbid Angel albums off the top of my head that I think are far better than this. Yeah, for me, it just doesn't live up to the hype. It's a great album, no doubt about it, but I'm expecting to be blown away when I hear so much hype, and for me, this one just doesn't blow me away. I still really enjoy it, obviously, though. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the list. But stuff like Fall From Grace, first track, superb. The title track, Blessed of the Sick, really good. Like Kingdom Come, I really enjoy. Desolate Ways, the acoustic, which is played by the late Richard Brunel's fantastic. The Ancient Ones, In Remembrance, yeah, a really good album, but just not the masterpiece it's made out to be for me. But great stuff. Obviously, the drumming from Pete Sandoval is absolutely on point. The guy's just such a beast and such a talented musician. Trey's guitars are fantastic. David Vincent, probably one of the best death metal vocalists that ever has lived. His vocals are fantastic on this. Yep. Blessed Are the Sick, Morbid Angel, a great album, but just not quite the masterpiece it's made out to be for me. This one's amazing. More death metal. You're going to see a lot of death metal in this list because the year for it was just absolutely fantastic. Massacres From Beyond. This one does live up to the hype as far as I'm concerned. Basically the lineup of Death's Leprosy album, but with Cam Lee on vocals. This is great. Again, I only picked this up a couple of years ago, and I should have done it a long time ago, but it's absolutely outstanding. Brilliant album. Dawn of Eternity, absolutely fantastic. Cryptic Realms, brilliant. Title track From Beyond's fantastic. Symbolic Immortality, Corpse Grinder. Cam Lee's vocals on this are fantastic, really, really good. Rick Ross's guitar soloing. You always know when you're hearing Rick Ross's solos, you know, so many tremolo dive bombs. A brilliant album. Terry Butler on bass, Bill Andrews on the drums. When you've got 3 of the guys who played on Death's Leprosy, it's not going to let you down, let's face it. You know, you can pick this up, not even have to listen to it. If you like old school death metal, you know you're going to like this. And that's exactly what happened with me. Fantastic album, brilliant, brilliant stuff from Massacre. Absolutely love it. That's essential to any death metal collection. Number 21, bit of a super group here. Temple of the Dog. This is the guys from Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. When you've got the calibre of musicians on this, how can it not be great? And it's absolutely brilliant. I only got this about sort of 4 or 5 years ago. Brilliant stuff. Say Hello to Heaven's great. Really, really good song. Absolutely love it. Fantastic song. Pushing Forward Back. Hunger Strike. That was the big single from this. Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell's trade-off vocals. Just absolutely outstanding. It's worth it for that track alone. Call Me a Dog. Wooden Jesus. Your Saviour. All Night Thing. Absolutely great. I wish I'd got off my arse and picked up quicker than I did. But there we go. Lesson learned. Brilliant stuff. Temple of the Dog. Obviously, you're not going to be seeing these guys anymore because Chris Cornell's passed away. They did a reform for some shows a few years back, of course. Outstanding stuff from the alternative grunge era. Temple of the Dog, their self-titled debut from '91. Essential stuff. Into number 20 now. And another one I didn't pick up maybe about a year ago. Overkill's Horoscope. Now, if you know Overkill, these thrash metal legends, you know that these guys do not let you down. And this is a brilliant, brilliant album. I had everything up to this point for quite a while. And a while ago I thought, yeah, I need to pick up Horoscope. And this is great. Really, really good. This is the first album without Bobby, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, Gustafsson on the guitar. Shame he's not on it, but doesn't matter. The two guys that they drafted in to replace him are brilliant. Dee Dee Verney's bass, nice and audible as always. Bobby Blitz on the vocals, and Sid Falk, I think you pronounce it, on the drums. Great drumming on this album, absolutely brilliant. So much good stuff. Coma, Infectious, Blood Money, Thanks for Nothing, Bare Bones, Horoscope. Pretty much every song's fantastic, to be honest. This would probably be higher up the list if I was a little bit more familiar with it, but like I said, I've not had it for that long. But Overkill just don't let you down. Excellent thrash metal from New York. Fantastic stuff. Brilliant album. Another one I'd love to get on vinyl, but don't see it very often, so it's a case of being in the right place at the right time and hopefully picking it up one day. Number 19, Canada. Gorguts and Considered Dead. Absolutely phenomenal death metal. This was another band I only sort of really started checking out a few years ago. And so glad I jumped on the train. This is great stuff. Brilliant guitar riffing on this. Got that old school death metal sound, which we all know and love. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Stiff and Cold. The album is worth it for that song alone. But Considered Dead, Bodily Corrupted, Drifting Remains, etc., etc. It's a fantastic album. For me, these guys got better as they went on. And this is their debut, and this is brilliant. But they got more technical as they went on. Just a fantastic band. Such a talented bunch of guys. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. I can't say enough good things about it. If you're into death metal and you've not heard this, and you really do need to pick it up. But if you're into death metal, more than likely you know this album and you know this band. Fantastic stuff. Number 18, here's part 2 of Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion. This is the second one, obviously, and much better than the first one. Great stuff on here. Yeah, the cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door can get in the bin, but there's loads of other stuff in it. It's great, sorry. Estranged, probably the best song across all these two albums. Civil War, 14 Years Yesterday's Breakdown, fantastic song. Locomotive is great as well. You Could Be Mine, the song that was on the Terminator 2 soundtrack. This is far, far better than the first one. Yeah, if I was going to suggest to anyone, if they said to me, which of the two would you get, I would definitely say this one. It's much better than the first one. The first one's still good, but this is far, far superior. These albums are absolutely everywhere back in 1991. I remember them just being videos all over the TV, all over the radio. These albums were everywhere in the record stores when you went into them back in the day. But this is definitely the best one. Just such a good album. Use Your Illusion 2, Guns N' Roses. Fantastic stuff. So I keep looking down. I'm just looking at my notes. Number 17. Entombed, Clandestine. Yeah, this is great. I'll tell you what sticks out in my memory about this album. When I first picked this up, I must have listened to it about 2 or 3 times before I even realised it wasn't Lars Goran Petrov doing the vocals. I didn't even realise that sounded exactly the same to me. The vocals are actually done by the drummer Nick A. Anderson, and he does a great job. If you like Left Hand Path, this is more of the same. Brilliant stuff. Picked this up about 5 or 6 years ago. This is from Earache, obviously the full dynamic range. Let's pull out the sleeves. You can't read the title really clearly in the sleeve. Living Dead's brilliant. Sinners Bleed. Chaos Breed, Cruel. Severe Burns. Essential Swedish death metal. Obviously the HM2 guitar tone. Brilliant stuff. Entombed Clandestine. Like I say, if you like Left Hand Path, it's just as good as that. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely love it. Number 16. Back to the alternative. And Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger. The fact that this is number 16 just goes to show how absolutely phenomenal the albums from this year are, because this could easily be top 5. Absolutely fantastic, an absolutely brilliant album. Chris Cornell, again, such a shame he's passed away. This album is full of great tracks, classic songs. Jesus Christ Poses on this, everyone knows that song. Outshined is on here. Rusty Cage. How he sang and played that guitar riff at the same time in Rusty Cage, I will never ever know. It's not easy, but you watch him do it and he just makes it look so simple. Such a talented guy. Slaves and Bulldozers is probably my favourite song on this album though. It's absolutely fantastic. But there's other good stuff. Room 1,000 Years Wide, Mind Riot, Drawing Flies, etc. A huge album, an absolutely huge album. I absolutely love it. Picked this copy up a few years ago. It sounds fantastic. I think it's a repress. As you can probably see from the sticker there, it cost me 20 quid. So it might be an original, but I'm not sure. But who cares? It sounds great. The music's great. It's a fantastic album. Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger. Brilliant stuff. Halfway there. Van Halen's For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, great album. I was a little bit disappointed with the previous album, OU812, but this one is much, much better. I'm not a Roth or a Hagar guy. I like both eras. I prefer the Roth stuff, if I'm honest, but this is an absolutely fantastic album. It's just as good as the stuff I was doing with Roth back in the early 80s and late 70s. Pound Cake and Judgment Day, those two songs are made by Michael Anthony's bass line. He's just chugging along on the 16th notes in those songs. Absolutely fantastic. They're great songs anyway, but I really love the bass in both of those. But In and Out's brilliant as well. Man on a Mission, Right Now, Top of the World. Brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, if for some reason you're not down with the Hagar era, then I would absolutely recommend going to this. Or 1986's 5150. That's another good one. But for me, this is the best of the Sammy era. This one, not too easy to find on vinyl, but I paid about 30 quid for this off of eBay, and I'm more than happy to pay the price. It's a great album. It's in great condition. Once again, the hard rock, hair metal era, sort of surviving into the early 90s and still releasing good albums. And this one's a cracker. Van Halen For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Over to New York for some more death metal. Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth. Great stuff. For me, this is a big step up from their debut. I like their debut, but for me, this is much, much better. Chris Barnes' vocals, back in the day, just the best death metal vocalist out there, I think, or definitely one of the best. Meat Hook Sodomy, Gutted, Living Dissection, Under the Right Flesh, side one's absolutely flawless. Covered with Swords, Vomit the Soul, Butchered at Birth, Rancid Appetition, In This Decay. There's not a bad song on this album. It's absolutely fantastic. Not their best, but definitely one of their best. That artwork is just absolutely phenomenal as well. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. I've got a t-shirt with this artwork on, you know. Yeah, some people don't like it, but, you know, tough shit. Brilliant album. Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Like I say, the fact that this is this low down in the list just goes to show you how many great albums are released this year. Right. Number 13. Sticking with the death metal, Malevolent Creation, The Ten Commandments. This is absolutely superb. The production on this is just on the money. The guitar tone is fantastic, and the vocals from the late great Brett Hoffman, brilliant, brilliant stuff. I was listening to this only this morning. I'd love to get this on vinyl. Quite hard to find though. But premature burial, memorial arrangements, multiple stab wounds, Thou Shall Kill, the title track. This is absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Yeah, another band that I'm late to the party on. I only picked this up about 3 or 4 years ago. So glad I did though. Just an absolute death metal classic. I absolutely love this album. Musicianship's fantastic. Songs are catchy. Production's great. Probably done at Morris Sound. This is the early 90s after all. Yeah, Scott Burns. I mean, that guy just knew how to record death metal bands. Everyone went to that studio back in the day. And with good reason, because you got great results. The previous album I just showed, Cannibal Corpse, that was done there as well. Brilliant album, 10 Commandments from Level and Creation. Brilliant stuff. Up next, another one I'd love to get on vinyl, but this is bloody hard to find, and if you do find it, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And for me, the last great Ozzy Osbourne album, No More Tears, this is absolutely fantastic. Zakk Wylde on guitar. What's his name on the drums? Randy Castillo, who's unfortunately passed away quite a long time ago now, actually. Great stuff. The last really decent Ozzy album for me. I mean, I got Osmosis, which came after this, and I do really like that. But the album after that, I can't remember what it was called now off the top of my head. Come out in 2001. I can't stand it. Terrible. And I'm not listening to anything since. So this is the last great Ozzy album. Mr. Tinker Train's fantastic. I Don't Want to Change the World, one of the best songs on the album. The title track's phenomenal as well. The bass playing that is really, really good. Mama, I'm Coming Home. Road to Nowhere is really good. Great stuff. Again, whenever this turns up on a vinyl, on an original copy on eBay, usually goes for at least £100. I've seen it go for about 300 quid. One's in really good nick. Great stuff. Yeah, I'd love to get this on wax, but it's not easy to come by, I should say. Ozzy's No More Tears. Brilliant stuff. Number 11. Some homegrown death metal. This is Cancer's Death Shall Rise. Yes, that's cool. So that's the correct title. Brilliant stuff. They were joined by James Murphy on lead guitar for this album. He played on Death Spiritual Healing just a year before. Phenomenal stuff. I was so glad these got repressed, because I was bidding on the original copies of these for about 2 years, and every time I just went for astronomical money. OG presses are so hard to come by, but this reissue is absolutely fantastic. Hung, Drawn and Quartered, classic song. You know, if you're into death metal, you know that song. Tasteless Incest is really, really good. Death Shall Rise, Back from the Dead, Gruesome Tasks, Corpse Fire, Internal Decay. If my memory's right, these guys are from Telford here in the UK. Brilliant. John Walker's vocals are fantastic. James Murphy's lead guitar is obviously brilliant. Just an absolutely outstanding death metal album. Another one I think was done at Morris Sound. Can't see on the back. More than likely though, an absolutely fantastic UK death metal classic here. Cancer's Death Shall Rise. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Into the top 10, and the album that needs absolutely no introduction, Nirvana's Nevermind. This is packed front to back with about 5 really, really big selling singles. This album pretty much wiped out hard rock and hair metal with one swing of Kurt's guitar. Swung like an axe and pretty much killed off that entire scene. This is just absolutely fantastic. So I'm not going to talk about it for too long, because you know this album, even if you're not into the band. Yeah, Teen Spirit, In Bloom. Lithium, Come As You Are. Fantastic stuff. Territorial Pistons, Stay Away, etc, etc. Brilliant album. Number 10, Nirvana's Nevermind. Up next is a band that have, for the last 25 years, been putting out absolute shit. And it's such a shame, because back in the late 80s throughout to the mid 90s, they were putting out some killer albums. But I haven't liked anything these guys have put out since 95, but this album is an absolute beast. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. I see a lot of people these days falling over themselves for the stuff that they've done over the last 20 years. And those guys just need to listen to this, because this is so much better than the shit they've been putting out for the last 25 years. When I first got this back in the day, I listened to it constantly. It's an album full of absolutely brilliant songs. This has got Under the Bridge on it, which everybody will know. And another big single, Give It Away, a song that I should be bored of listening to by now, but I'm just not. It's absolutely brilliant. But stuff in there like The Power of Equality, If You Have to Ask, Breaking the Girl, that was another single. Suck My Kiss, fantastic. I Could Have Lied, Mellowship Slinky in B major. The Righteous and the Wicked, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, etc, etc, etc. There is not a bad song on this album. It's absolutely fantastic. It's such a shame that they make the kind of music they make this day, because it's completely inferior to this. This is just an absolutely perfect album. Absolutely brilliant. Anthony Kiedis' vocals are great. Of course, Flea's bass playing is fantastic. Great guitar from John Frusciante. Chad Smith on the drums. Just brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. It's such a shame I don't make them like this anymore. But there we are. It is what it is. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That's number 9. Number 8, another album you absolutely couldn't get away from at the time. Metallica's self-titled. I know a lot of people think this is when they seriously fell off the wagon. For me, not the case though. I know it's not what they were before, but it's still absolutely brilliant. Enter Sandman, Sabbath Troop, Struggle Within. The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, A Wolf and Man, Through the Never, etc, etc, etc. Great album. Not going to talk about it for loads of time because everyone knows this, obviously. But the Black Album, it's an absolute beast, of course. Some people, they say they sold out. I don't think so. But it definitely was going to sound more commercial. But a fantastic album nonetheless. Number 7, back to Seattle for Pearl Jam's debut 10. Phenomenal album. Absolutely brilliant. Loads of big singles on this, but even the stuff that isn't singles is fantastic. Black on this, probably the best song on the album. So, such a heartbreaking song, but fantastic at the same time. Stuff like Oceans and Porch is fantastic on this as well. Garden, Deep Release, and then big singles like Alive, Jeremy, and Even Flow, that's the other one, yeah. Phenomenal album. Not a bad song on this. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to this album back to front over the years. An album that does live up to the hype. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Pearl Jam's 10. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a beast of an album. Absolutely amazing. Love Eddie Vedder's vocals. They're absolutely brilliant. Just a great album. Absolutely love it. Pearl Jam is number 10. Sorry, Pearl Jam's 10. Now, number 6. Some homegrown death metal. This is Carcass and Necrotism. That's it. Descanting the Insalubrious. I think this is much better than what they were doing before. When they ditched the grindcore and went on to death metal, this is their best stuff. I like the stuff before this, but for me, this is, and the hard work that came after it is easily their best stuff. This is their best album for me. Phenomenal death metal. I remember I got this in about 1999 on CD. Listen to it over and over again. It's their best album. It's absolutely fantastic. I think this is when is it Mike Ammott came in on guitar. Let's have a look at the band pictures. No band picture. Saw it. Brilliant stuff though. Ridiculous song titles. Corporal Jigsaw Quandary is probably one of my favourites on this. Symposium of Sickness is great. Pedigree Butchery. Then my favourite song is the first song on side 2, Incarnated Solvent Abuse. Got one of the heaviest riffs you'll ever hear in your entire life. Loads of great stuff. Jeff Walker, bass and vocals. Ken Owen on the drums. Bill Steele on guitar. A phenomenal album. It's their best. Full dynamic range reissue here from Earache. Sounds fantastic. An absolutely essential death metal album. Some homegrown death metal from here. Liverpool in the UK, Carcass. Necrotism, absolutely fantastic. Right, top 5 now. And an album that no one ever talks about. Brittany Fox's Bite Down Hard. We're going back to the hard rock glam metal sort of scene from this one. Dizzy Dean Davidson left the band. In comes Tommy Paris, who's just an absolutely amazing vocalist. Michael Kelly Smith's guitar playing is absolutely amazing. Billy Childs and I can't remember the bloody names, the name of the drummer off the top of my head. Brilliant stuff. This is packed front to back with amazing songs. And no one ever talks about this album. I would love to get this on vinyl, but you just do not see it. So it's going to have to be a case of being in the right place at the right time. Six Guns Loaded, Louder, one of my favourite songs of the album. Lies, fantastic. Closer to Your Love, brilliant song. Over and Out, Shot from a Gun, Black and White, Look My Way, that's a bit of a power ballad. That's not too bad, not the best song of the album. Lonely Too Long, closes with a cover of Midnight Moses. No one talks about this, don't know why. It's absolutely brilliant. I'd listened to it so much when I first got it. A phenomenal hard rock album from the tail end of the scene. It's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't got this, you need to check it out. And yeah, hopefully I'll grab it on vinyl one day, but it's going to cost a lot of money unless someone reissues it. Hopefully someone reissues it. Number 4. Skid Row's Slave to the Grind. Their debut's good, but it's much more in the line of sort of pop metal, where this has got much more aggression to it, but without it being death metal, obviously, or anything like that. An absolutely amazing album. Sebastian Bach's vocals, absolutely fantastic. That guy can really sing. Rachel Bowen on bass. So many great songs here. Monkey Business, I remember seeing it on Top of the Pops. If you're from the UK, you'll know Top of the Pops. Back in the day, it was the only way you got to see any kind of music videos in the UK. They mostly played a load of pop music, obviously. Slave to the Grind's fantastic. Quicksand Jesus, Psycho Life, Get the Fuck Out. Living on the Chain Gang, In the Darkened Room, Riot Act, Mud Clicker, Wasted Time. There's not a bad song on this. Absolutely perfect album. I love the debut. But this is maybe just a little bit better than that. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, an absolutely phenomenal album. I didn't pick this up till about 2005, I think, and I made up for lost time. Absolutely brilliant. But like I said, I do remember it back at the time, but didn't really get into it then. But it's phenomenal. Brilliant stuff. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, brilliant. Into the top 3 now. Death, Human, yeah, you know this album if you're into death metal. This is, for me, one of the best Death albums. It's absolutely fantastic. Steve DiGiorgio on bass, Chuck Schuldiner, of course. I think it's Paul Masvidal from Cynic, and the drummer is it Sean Reinhart, I think. Phenomenal, absolutely brilliant, technically perfect. A fantastic album, so many great songs. There's Lack of Comprehension being my favourite. But Flattening of Emotion, Suicide Machine, See Through Dreams, Vacant Planets. This has actually got a cover of Kiss's God of Thunder at the end, and you could even argue it's even better than Kiss's version. It's absolutely brilliant. Again, another album I actually played to death back in the day. For me, Death's a band who got better as they went on. I like the earlier stuff like Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy, but Human for me is a better album. An absolute beast of an album. Listened to it tons back in the day when I first got it. Perfect stuff. And it's only number 3. But it could easily have been number 1, but there are 2 albums that are even better. Sticking with the death metal theme. Death metal from Holland. This is Pestilence and Testimony of the Ancients. Absolutely phenomenal artwork. Just the artwork's amazing. And just an absolutely perfect album. Martin Van Drunen was gone. Patrick Mamelli took over on guitar and vocals. Well, he was already playing the guitar, but took over on the vocals and delivered an absolute masterpiece. I absolutely love this album. The production's fantastic. The song's great. The musical performances are absolutely outstanding. Stuff on here like The Secrecies of Horror, Twisted Truth, Land of Tears, etc, etc, etc. There's just not a bad song on this. There's no point me telling you all the songs titles because they're all absolutely brilliant. Fantastic artwork. Crushing death metal from Holland. This is just so good. Again, Pestilence is a band I didn't check up on until about 5 years ago. I remember seeing a name about back in the mid-90s, but never got around to checking them out. And I made up for lost time. I bought like 5 albums in a row when I first started listening to them. None of them disappointed me. This might be my favourite. I'm not sure, but it's a very, very good one. Testimony Ancients of Pestilence, number 2 on my list of the top 30 albums of 1991. Absolutely flawless, fantastic death metal. I'm sure you know it. If you don't know it though, make sure you go out and listen to it. Right, so number 1, phenomenal, obviously, because it's number 1. But this is the second album I heard from this band, and first album I heard from them I really, really like, but this to me blows it out of the water. A lot of people would say that the album they put out in 1989 is superior, and it is very, very good, but for me this is the best one. My number 1 from 1991 is Sepultura's Arise. Very lucky to have an original press of this. I mean, same with Pestilence. Just look at that artwork. It's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, a lot of people say Beneath the Remains is their best. For me, Arise is their best. It's absolutely fantastic. A flawless album. Yeah, the musical performances on this are absolutely outstanding. The production's great. Again, I think this is done on Morris Sound. Yeah, Scott Burns production, of course. Sounds phenomenal. Max Cavalera's voice is brilliant, and it's packed front to back with great songs. Arise and Dead Embryonic Cells, those two opening 2 songs are just killer. Desperate Cry, Murder, Subtraction, Sideone's perfect. Always State, Under Sage, Meaningless Movements, Infected Voice. Number 1, just perfect. I'm going to take it out of the plastic just to get a better look at that artwork. Outstanding stuff. I like Chaos AD, that's really, really good. But for me, when I heard this, it was just like, man, this pisses all over Chaos AD. I'll show the record. There we go. Road Racer, side A. And side B, very, very lucky to have this. And it was in amazing condition as well. Like it never been played. Just a phenomenal thrash metal album. I mean, I say thrash, this is like bordering on death metal as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely love it. The Seps have put out a lot of good albums over the years, but for me, this is my favourite, and it's my favourite album of 1991. It's an absolute beast of an album, and I'm sure the majority of you know it. If you don't know, for some reason you haven't heard this, and you're into thrash metal or death metal, I can't recommend you pick this up enough. And that's my number 1 album of 1991. Sepultura's Arise, an absolutely flawless masterpiece. Blew me away when I first heard it, and it's still blowing me away now. Right, guys, cheers for sticking with me, because I knew this was going to be a long video. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please like this video if you like what I'm doing. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and I'll catch up with you next time. I shall see you next time. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye. Catch you later.